AITA for kicking out my family after they tried to take my house for free. I recently bought my own house. It was a huge achievement for me. I 28M had been working hard for years, saving up every penny I could and putting in extra hours at work to make sure I could afford it. I always wanted a place that was truly mine, a place where I could live without worrying about roommates or sharing space with anyone. It was my dream, and finally, after a lot of sacrifice, I was able to make it happen. The house wasn't huge, but it was nice and had enough room for me to feel comfortable and for the occasional guest. I was proud of it, and honestly, it felt like a big step in my life. My parents were happy for me, too. They always encouraged me to follow my dreams and to work hard, but they also knew that this house meant a lot to me. I thought everything was fine, and I was excited to finally have some space where I could live in peace. A few days ago, my parents and older brother, 30M, came over to visit. It had been a while since we all hung out, so I was looking forward to spending some time with them. We had dinner together, talked about life, and caught up. Everything was going well, but then, as the evening went on, I started noticing a shift in the conversation. My brother, who's been struggling with his rent for a while, kept bringing up how much he liked the house. He was talking about how nice it was and how much space I had. At first, I thought it was just him being complimentary, but then he started making comments about how much easier his life would be if he could live somewhere like this. He said he couldn't keep up with rent in his current place and that he was really struggling. I tried to be sympathetic, but it was getting a little uncomfortable. The next day, my brother started talking about it again. He casually suggested that it might make sense for him to move in with me. I was taken aback. I hadn't even thought about it, but it seemed like he was serious. I told him I liked having my space and that I wasn't ready to share my home with anyone, especially not while I was still settling in. He brushed it off at first, but then my mom started chiming in, saying how it would be great for the family to be together. She said that I had so much space, and it would be nice if we could all help my brother out. It felt like the conversation was shifting from a casual suggestion to an expectation. My parents kept saying that family should always stick together, and that it would be selfish of me to turn my brother away. My mom even said I was being cold-hearted for not helping him out, and my dad agreed, saying I should be more supportive. They kept pushing, but I remained firm and said no. I told them that I had worked hard to get this house, and I needed my space. I wasn't saying I didn't care about my brother, but I had to think about my own life and what I was comfortable with. That should have been the end of it. But then the next day, I walked into my house to find my brother packing his things like he was already moving in. My parents were there too, packing up some of his clothes and other belongings. I stood there in complete shock. I asked them what the hell was going on, and they just looked at me like I was the one being unreasonable. My mom said it was for the best, that it would help everyone, and my dad said that this was just what needed to happen. They acted like they had already made up their minds, and I was just supposed to go along with it. I tried to stay calm, but honestly I was fuming. I told them they couldn't just come into my house and start making decisions without asking me first. I told them they needed to leave and that this was my home, not some family project. But they didn't listen. They argued with me, saying I was being selfish, and my mom even started crying. She said I was abandoning my brother in his time of need, and my dad called me ungrateful. They wouldn't stop pushing, and at that point I snapped. I told them that if they didn't leave my house, I'd call the police. I know it sounds extreme, but I felt completely trapped. They finally left, but not without a huge scene. My brother was furious, and my parents haven't spoken to me much since. My brother has been blowing up my phone, telling me I'm ruining the family and that I should be ashamed of myself. It's been stressing me out, and now I'm second-guessing myself. Did I go too far by kicking them out? Was I wrong for not letting my brother move in? I feel like I set clear boundaries, but the guilt is eating me alive. I worked so hard to get my house, and I thought I had the right to live here without being pressured by my family. Still, I keep wondering if maybe I should have been more understanding and let him stay, even just for a little while. But then again, the way they tried to take over my house without even asking me. It felt like a huge violation. I don't know if I overreacted or if I did the right thing. So Reddit, am I the *** hole for kicking out my family after they tried to take my house for free?